Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Check 4 5.
Hi, Judge and Brian. Can you hear me?
I can hear you in the agenda room.
Perfect.
Good morning, Agenda Room. Commissioner Roop is here.
Morning, Commissioner. This is Judge DePel.
Good afternoon,
Kochmeyer's here.
Judge.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman and Judge.
Good morning, Commissioner Kochmeyer. See Commissioner Hahn and Commissioner Coleman are on.
Good morning. Yes, no, it's afternoon.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Just so we don't interfere with you all, I'll go ahead and mute the agenda room unless somebody in here needs to speak.
Great, thank you, Judge. Is Commissioner Holzman online yet? All right, we'll give it a few more minutes until everyone is joined. Oh, I do see Commissioner Holzman is online. Great. Commissioner Holzman, can you hear me?
Hear you. Can you hear me?
I can, yes. Yes.
Then we're good.
Very good. Great. And Commissioner Hahn, Commissioner Coleman, Commissioner Kochmeyer, everyone ready to go?
Yes, ready here.
All right, great. Well, it is 12:30, and we will call the October 18th Missouri Public Service Commission agenda meeting to order. Just to remind those that are all on the call or on the WebEx to please mute yourselves unless you need to speak. There are 3 tariffs and new orders today, 4 case discussions, and before we get into that, we will approve the minutes from October 12th, 2023 agenda. I know those have been distributed in advance to the commissioners. Commissioners, do you have any questions or concerns or changes needed to the minutes from the October 12th agenda? All right, hearing none, then all those in favor of adopting the minutes from the October 12th, 2023 agenda, please say aye.
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 Those are approved by a vote of 5-0. All right, first up today is tariffs and new orders is file number WA 2023-0398. This is in the matter of the application of Confluence Rivers Utility Operating Company for a certificate of convenience and necessity provide water and sewer service in the area of Lincoln County, Missouri, specifically in Quail Run. So on May 24th, Confluence had filed its application seeking to acquire all the water and sewer system assets of the currently unregulated systems of Lincoln County Water and Sewer LLC, and for a CCN to provide services. On September 12th, the staff of the commission filed this recommendation to go ahead and approve those transfers of assets and grant the CCN with certain conditions. On September 22nd of this year, Confluence stated that it had accepted staff's recommendation and their conditions, but one, and requested an amendment to that condition. Staff then later responded accepting Confluence's requested amendment. So what this order does is it grants Confluence's permission to acquire the water and sewer system assets of Lincoln County Water and Sewer. This order also grants Confluence a CCN to provide water and sewer service to Lincoln County Water and Sewer customers, subject to the conditions and the requirements contained in staff's recommendation as amended. And I would recommend we approve this order version number 2. Commissioner Coleman.
I support the order.
Great. Commissioner Holzman.
I'm in support of the order.
Great. Commissioner Kolkmeyer.
I'm in support of the order.
Great. And Commissioner Hahn.
Also in support.
Great. All those in favor of supporting that order version number 2, please say aye.
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 That is approved by a vote of 5-0. All right, next up is file number EO 2024-0002. This is the matter of the request for customer account data production from Evergy Metro, Inc., DBA Evergy Missouri Metro, and Evergy Missouri West. On June 30th, Evergy filed a motion to establish this docket. The parties in this file are Evergy, the staff of the commission, the Office of Public Counsel, and Midwest Energy's Consumer Group. On October 6th, Evergy, on behalf of the parties, filed a procedural schedule that had the agreement of all the parties. As the filing is unopposed, this order finds it reasonable, and we will order that requested schedule. And I recommend we approve this order, version number 1. Commissioner Coleman.
I support the order.
And Commissioner Holzman.
I'm in support of the order.
Great. Commissioner Kolkmeyer.
And I'm in support.
Great. And Commissioner Hahn.
Also in support.
Great. All those in favor of supporting that order, version number 1, please say aye.
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 That is approved by a vote of 5-0. Moving right along is file number EO 2023-0276 and EO 2023-0277. This is in the matter of the 5th prudence review of cost subject to the commission-approved fuel adjustment clause of Evergy Metro, DBA Evergy Missouri Metro. So on March 3rd, the staff of the commission filed notice that it started prudence audits of the fuel adjustment clause established for Evergy Missouri Metro and Evergy Missouri West. Staff recommended that the commission order some adjustments. Evergy filed a request for a hearing in both cases. And in file number EO 2023-0277, the Office of Public Counsel filed its own request for a hearing. And on October 6th, staff, on behalf of all parties, filed a proposed procedural schedule. As the filing is unopposed, the commission finds it reasonable and will order the schedule as requested. And I recommend that we approve this order, version number 1. Commissioner Coleman.
I support the order.
Great. Commissioner Holzman.
I support the order.
Commissioner Kolkmeyer.
I support the order.
And Commissioner Hahn.
Also in support.
Great. All those in favor of supporting that order, please say aye.
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 Great. And that is approved by a vote of 5-0. All right, moving on. We got some case discussion. Looks like we got 4 case discussions. The first 3 kind of all deal with the same subject matter, but for different companies. So we're going to start off with file number EO 2024-0042. This is in the matter of the determination of special contemporary resource planning issues to be addressed by Ameren Missouri in its next IRP annual update. Judge Pridgeon, do you want to give us any information, or do you want me just to dive right on in?
Just by way of background, Mr. Chairman, thank you. I have these memos on to try to get commission direction on how you'd like to proceed on these special contemporary issues cases. By rule, the stakeholders were supposed to list their requested special contemporary issues by September 15th, and the company had until October 1st to respond. And by rule, the commission is supposed to vote out an order no later than November 1st on what special contemporary issues, if any, you would like the companies to address in their next IRP filing. And so I am looking for direction today and hopefully to get orders voted out in next week's agenda.
Okay, great, Judge. I appreciate the memo and outlining it. So as the judge said, allowed by commission regulation, Public Counsel this year, Club filed special contemporary issues for Ameren, Missouri to address in its next IRP filing. So I think I'll just kind of walk through my thoughts and if there's any other contested issues I would like to see included, and then we'll go around the table like we usually do and see what issues other commissioners want to have included and what their thoughts are on issues that other commissioners would like to see included. So first off, as an initial matter, I am in favor of approving any issue that the electric utility has agreed to address in its next IRP filing. So if the company is like, yeah, we want to address that, I'm on board with all of those. Of the disputed issues, for me personally, there's two that I would like the commission to consider adopting as special contemporary issues. Those are OPC's issue number 1, the impact of demand side rates on planning, and OPC's issue number 8, the modeling of the ARC participation. So my thoughts are regarding OPC issue number 1. I know Ameren did object on the ground that this analysis is already routinely performed as part of its demand side management or DSM potential study. But I thought OPC's point is that the demand side rates have historically been embedded largely in the demand side management analysis and presented in conjunction with MIA and energy efficiency assumptions. So I was thinking it's difficult to reasonably understand what, if any, impact rate design alone will have on future resource planning assumptions. So that's kind of like the reason why I wanted to include that one. And just given the fact that there is a lot of sunk investment cost in AMI technology, the RTO resource reliability concerns, and the commission's expressed interest in rate design, I think there should be a greater emphasis on modeling and have a more explicit and transparent section devoted to rate design pricing as a demand side resource. And so for that, I believe Ameren should be ordered to include the modeling analysis in OPC's SCRP issue number 1. And then the other one was OPC's issue number 8. I know Ameren objected on this one, that this analysis was part of its recently filed DSM potential study and the IRP filing. But given our commission's recent decision to partially modify its ban on third-party aggregators of demand response and the increased volatility surrounding market prices and concerns over reliability in the introduction of FERC Order 2222, I think it would be relevant for Ameren to just address this issue again. But all that being said, if Ameren thinks there's no material change, then they can just report their initial filings. Also, if Ameren believes the cost of running this new analysis is unjustified in context of an annual update, they can just simply state so and report its previous findings on the issue. Or if they have already done this type of analysis, to just point us to where it is where we could find that. So overall, the issues, I was in favor of all the ones that the utility wanted to do, and with those two exceptions. So Commissioner Coleman, what are the ones that you would like to see included, and do you have any objections to the two that I had outlined?
Okay, so I agree with Ameren's responses that most of these suggestions were discussed elsewhere and are not IRP special contemporary issues. And the only other thing is that I would be agreeable to including any that Ameren agreed to covering in the IRP, such as the Department of Energy Infrastructure Reinvestment Loan Program.
Okay. And Commissioner Holzman.
In addition to agreeing with you, Mr. Chairman, I would like to see three, and these are going to be pretty consistent across. So I'm going to mention all three of these up front, and then where they fit. But I would like to see virtual power plants. It's described as any consideration provided virtual power plants within the company's IRP update or triennial analysis from a retail participant perspective as well as market participant perspective. Detail how VPPs could contribute to utility meeting its resource adequacy requirements, and how VPPs may be a more scalable solution to meet evolving demand as opposed to the investment in a more costly and larger generation solution like combustion turbines. I would also like to have storage considered. Consider specifically addressing storage deployment, such as retired car battery, Tesla Pilot in Australia, and storage investments intended to firm up renewable energy resources with the aim to increase its capacity, accreditation. And then finally, distribution planning. In light of the emerging developments around DERs and VPPs, address what efforts the company made in its IRP modeling to address distribution planning and opportunities and challenges. So those three, VPPs, storage, and distribution planning, I would suggest for across the board.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Commissioner Kolkmeyer.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yes, I support what the company has agreed to with the IRPs. I'm also on board with your two issues. So with that, I'll be supporting your position. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, great. And Commissioner Hahn. You are muted, Commissioner Hahn.
Technology is still hard. Thank you, Mr. Chair. The issues that are outlined in the memo that I'm in agreement to support having the company look at is estimated costs for mothballing dispatchable generation that is subject to planned retirement, and also report on the ability of the current resource plan to meet forecasted energy needs in its next triennial filing, and analyze the risk to customers of relying on just-in-time fuel for electric generation. I think those were ones that the utility did agree to, and those are the ones that I support. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay. So for the judges moving forward, I'm fine with including what Commissioner Holzman wanted to do on the VPP and the storage and distribution planning. And is there any objections to including those, Commissioners?
No objections.
Mr. Chair, with respect to the ones that were mentioned, from my understanding, those are fairly large. And this next update, this was Ameren just filed their IRP not long ago, and so it seems like those would be more suited to one of their triennial updates rather than an annual update. And also, the company didn't have a chance to respond to those potential inquiries. I know that at least the VPP was a comment, as far as I could tell, only on the Evergy request. So I'm not sure how the company either thinks they already could have a response, if it's already something that's included in their IRP, or if this be something new to them. So I'm slightly unsure of the concept and the company's position on it currently.
Mr. Chairman, I would just suggest that these issues move so quickly and the technology develops and evolves so quickly that 3 years is too long to wait. I would rather hear it on an annual basis. And the company can always respond that, they're looking into it, or, it's not like it's a, the consequences are grave. So I would like to at least encourage them that these are three issues that I would like to see at least addressed or going to be addressed.
Yeah, I know in the past we've had issues that maybe were larger, that I know that the company has said they're they're looking into, or they're planning on, including it in their next IRP or the triennial. And we've always kind of defaulted to if a commissioner kind of wanted to have them address that, unless there was like a huge cost and the company could identify that, that we kind of went ahead and included it. But I guess as for today, we got Judge needs guidance on how to draft the order for next week. So I think we can, Judge, I think we can probably include all this, and then we'll have time to kind of prepare for the order next week and see how we want the final order to come out.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Is that agreeable to the rest of the commissioners? Let's put all these in the order and let us flush them out over the next week and look into them a little bit further.
I think that's fair, and I think it's helpful to hear from Commissioner Holzman that, if it's something they're looking into, maybe see what they already have that could fulfill the request. So I would be in support of your position on moving forward, Mr. Chair.
Okay, Judge. So it looks like we are going to include Commissioner Holzman's 3 suggestions and OPC's issue 1 and 8, and that should give you consensus to draft an order. And then if changes need to be made, we can address that before the next agenda.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll move on to then file number EO 2024-0043, matter of the determination of special contemporary resource planning issues to be addressed by Evergy, Missouri in its next IRP triennial compliance filing. Judge, do you want to give us a background here?
It would be the same background, Mr. Chairman, as just looking for direction for orders next week. As you can tell, this memo is considerably longer than the ones for Ameren and Empire, but basically just looking for guidance for an order for next week.
Okay. Okay, great. Well, let's just do kind of the same thing we had done. My blanket statement, I'm in favor of all the ones that the utility has agreed to in its next filing. And I will offer up OPC issues 1 and 8 for the same reasons that I stated for Ameren. And it's probably even more appropriate, because of this filing. And I know Evergy has even agreed to partially accept OPC's issue 1. Would offer a few caveats to Evergy, as I did Ameren, is if they think the analysis will have no material impact on their IRP analysis, or it will be cost prohibitive within the context of their filing, to let us know that. But my recommendation would be the same as the 2 that I put forward for the previous company. Commissioner Coleman, your thoughts?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I only have one caveat here, and that's the inclusion of item number 3, a modeling battery storage operation and life cycle assumptions for its IRP modeling.
Okay.
Thank you.
Great. Commissioner Kolkmeyer.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yes, I agree with you. And did you skip Holzman on this one?
Oh my gosh, I did, didn't I?
I just figured that we
my turn.
blanketly adopted, everything I wanted. So you don't need to hear from me anymore.
Yeah, that was my fault there, Commissioner Kolkmeyer. Were you finished, Commissioner Kolkmeyer, before I go back to Commissioner Holden?
No, I only have one. No, I will agree with your positions on this. I will just make one comment on the city of Kansas City having some requests in here. I'm not in favor of allowing each city to get in the mix here. I think it's would be really harmful down the road for electric utility, or any utility, have to deal with city by city by city, as well as state and national regulations. So that's my only comment dealing with where the city of Kansas City has put some things, suggestions in here. So That's all. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Great, thank you. And my apologies again, Commissioner Holzman. Go right ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Well, I was just going to reiterate my three that I had asked for all the companies, which is VPP, storage, and distributed generation. But I do want to respond to Commissioner Kolkmeyer's comments. I understand where they're coming from. I get what he is saying. I don't necessarily disagree with what he is saying, but I also would point out that Kansas City is a stakeholder, not unlike the Sierra Club or New Energy or the renewable energy. I don't see a problem in them making suggestions for things that they find a priority as a city. Unlike the municipal cities of Springfield or Columbia or Independence who control their own power, Kansas City does not, and they are subject to the investor-owned footprint. And so I don't take the same approach that we shouldn't at least listen to their concerns, but I don't have any that I find overridingly, I'm not passionate about any that the company didn't agree with for what they made suggestions, but I would just suggest that I don't have a problem with them putting their 2 cents into the process.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Commissioner Holzman. Again, my apologies. And so now Commissioner Hahn.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm in support of the ones that I had already mentioned previously. Also, just if we are going to apply our first conversation to this one and we're putting several of those items in, just look forward to kind of seeing where we go with those items and how they're worded. And I assume that they'll apply in this order as well.
Yes, thank you, Commissioner. Yeah, I think that's the general thought. Why don't we, Judge, why don't you go ahead and include Commissioner Holzman's 3, the VPP, the storage, the distribution planning, and Commissioner Coleman's issue number 3, as well as issue number OPCs 1 and 8. And go ahead.
Mr. Chairman,
yeah.
Mr. Chairman,
Sure.
Kansas City's suggestion number 3 is to pursue a virtual power plant program that includes battery storage. And so that dovetails with what I'm already suggesting. So to the extent that I said I'm not passionate about any of their points, I guess I am on that one. So I just wanted to clarify that.
I understand.
And then just so that I understand, any that the company said they would comply with would also be part. Okay.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I think the rest of the commissioners are, unless someone had a specific objection.
And Mr. Chairman, where are we with Commissioner Kolkmeyer's comments relative to Kansas City's input? I lean toward his opinion on that.
So I think where we're at is if the company has agreed, we're in favor of all the ones the company has agreed. The only one that we're singling out is their issue on the VPP, which dovetails into Commissioner Holzman's original wanting VPPs to be included. So I believe that's where we're at.
Thank you.
Okay, Judge, you got clear as mud for you for next week, right?
I believe so, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
All right. Next up, EO 2024-0045. Matter of the termination of special contemporary resource planning issues to be addressed by Liberty in its next IRP annual update report. Judge, I'm assuming you're going to give us the same background as the previous 2.
Correct, Mr. Chairman.
All right. Well, then I'll just go. Yeah. So again, previously stated, all those the utility was wanting to include, I am in support of including, and not to be a record, but I would also include OPC's issue 1 and 8. And then I would also provide the same caveats to Liberty and Empire as I did the others. If they think the analysis has no material impact on their IRP analysis or would be cost prohibitive within the context of their filing, they would not have to can do that. Or if it has already been done, to please just point us to where it is at. And so with that, Commissioner Coleman.
I'm in agreement, Mr. Chairman, with all of your comments.
Great. Commissioner Holzman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yeah, same. Add those three. So all three have the same additions, and I agree with your position.
Great. And Commissioner Kolkmeyer.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I agree with your positions. Thank you.
Great. And Commissioner Hahn. You're muted again.
I tell you. I'm also in agreement. The one caveat is that Empire did not necessarily agree to looking at the estimated cost for mothballing dispatchable generation that's subject to a planned retirement. I think a few other, they didn't object to it, but it wasn't an explicit agreement. So I think we are having the other utilities look at that. The other utilities, I believe, did agree to that. So I think I would request that they include that in this specific order.
Okay. All right, Judge. It looks like the same as the others, except with those what Commissioner Hahn is included, and that should give you what you need for your order. Correct?
That's correct, sir. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Judge. All right. Our final case discussion is in file number GX 2023-0422. This is the matter of the proposed amendment of the Commission's rule relating to natural gas safety. Judge Pridgeon, this is you again.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have this memo on to ask for authority to send this proposed rulemaking to the governor's office. The rulemaking hearing was held on October 4th. We received no comments. The proposed rulemaking that came with this memo is what staff filed, plus some additional amendments that they filed right before the rulemaking hearing. And so I'm asking for your authority to send this to the governor's office for final review. And if the governor's office approves, it would then come back and I would bring this to you for a vote to approve the rulemaking and send to the Secretary of State.
Okay, great. Thank you, Judge. Yeah, I'm in favor of moving this forward. I think all the proposed amendments were based on relevant federal pipeline rules that our Commission Safety and Engineering Department identified. And really the amendments kind of just adopt changes in the minimum federal safety standards. So yeah, I'm in favor of moving this forward. Commissioner Coleman?
I am also. Thank you.
Great. Commissioner Holzman?
Yes, I support it.
Commissioner Kolkmeyer?
I'm in support.
Commissioner Hahn?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm also in support, and this had to have been the shortest rulemaking hearing that's ever occurred. So that made looking at the comments a little bit easier.
Yeah,
Thank
you.
Chair.
Yeah, very true. Thank you. Okay, so Judge, that should give you what you need on that one.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Next up is scheduling. Looks like Wednesday, October 25th. We have an evidentiary hearing in WO 2024-0036. That's the matter of petition for an interim receiver for an order directing the general counsel to petition the circuit court for appointment of receiver for Misty Waterworks. And that will be in room 310, Commission headquarters at 9 a.m. And that is on the 25th. Agenda will be that day as well. That will be at 10:15 for the agenda there on Wednesday, the 25th. Thursday, the 26th, we have an evidentiary hearing in case WC 2023-0142. This is Goad versus Missouri American Water Company, and that will be in room 310 at 9 a.m. Wednesday, November 1st, we have agenda at 10:15 a.m. Wednesday, November 8th, we have agenda at 10:15 a.m. And we have an evidentiary hearing that day in case WC 2023-0273. This is Nealon versus Missouri American Water Company. That will be in room 310, Commission headquarters at 9 a.m. Then we have our National Association NARUC meetings. Those will be running from the 12th through the 15th. of November for those that wish to participate. Then on the 16th of November, we have our agenda meeting at 10:15 a.m. That day, we also have an evidentiary hearing in case WR 2023-0344. That is in the matter of the application for a rate increase in Raytown Water Company. That will be in room 310, Commission Headquarters, starting at 10 a.m. on the 16th. Then on Wednesday, November 22nd, we will have agenda at 10:15 a.m. Commissioners, are there any changes with the schedule or anything you wish to address? All right. Well, appreciate everybody's time and attention today. That is all the business that stands for the Missouri Public Service Commission, and we will stand adjourned. Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you,
Thank
Mr.
you,
Chairman.
Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.